Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome or welcome back to another fun-filled edition of Soap Lore. I'm your host, Jet Soapy, reviewing the soapiest, sudziest primetime storyline of 1982. We are back in Dallas for an interesting showdown. So whether you're new to this or true to this, sit back and enjoy. Tell the kids it's time to play outside or out of sight. Tell babe no questions, suggestions, or concerns for the next 25 to 45 minutes. Everyone else in earshot, fired or kicked out are your only options because we are watching our story. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Soap Lore. Hello, gorgeous. Welcome or welcome back to another fun-filled edition of Soap Lore. I hope your day is shaping up well. It was a fantastic episode of Dallas. It feels good to be in the thick of something sometimes, but I got a question for you. What's your take on revenge? Are you a scorched earth type of person, or do you play the long game? Do you give people just enough rope to hang themselves, or do you come out swinging? This episode is one of those where it makes you take a step back and be like, there's something about playing the long game that is a win-win situation either way. So go ahead and pour yourself up something bubbly and bright as we jump into Season 5, Episode 7 of Dallas. What a fantastic word, blocked. Even before it meant something on your phone or on social media, I think of traffic. I think of sort of that defeated feeling you get when you are 20 minutes late to work anyway. Or maybe you're almost late for work. You're cutting corners. You're zooming in and out of traffic. You're about to hit that corner. Next thing you know, cones everywhere. You got a detour. It is infuriating. It is frustrating because there's little to nothing you can do about it. It's even more frustrating when you block yourself, when you play yourself. I've seen this happen time and time again, usually in a card game. Seems like at every family reunion, or birthday party, after people have had a few too many cocktails, everybody wants to start playing dominoes or whatever. It never fails that there's two people at the table who are taking the game 10 times more serious than the rest of the players. One is always ready to blow up the other one's spot, and I've seen this happen. Usually it's with men who are so caught up in beating the other person that they're not paying attention to the rest of the game. This episode is teaching you to pay attention to the rest of the game. There's always many, many moving parts here. Where shall we begin? Let's start with the bit players. In a rather unceremonious scene, Afternoon Delight, aka Afton Cooper, is at the bar per usual, bored out of her mind when JR walks in to scold her. What's this I hear about you not pleasuring my creepy older gentleman friend? Afton says, I can no longer do that, JR. I didn't realize I was going to have to be banging old guys all day, every day. It's really gross. Physically, I can't do it. He goes, well, physically, you're going to be kicked out of this world-class recording studio that also serves choking chicken bone wings unless you start giving up the ghost a little more regularly. Do you want to be a star or not, Afton? Like, I do, JR. Well, then you better start giving up the ghost. Simple as that. In other Cooper news, Mitch is staying in Dallas, y'all. He tells his beautiful ex-wife, the young Miss, not Mrs. Dallas, all about it at her photo shoot in the park. Dallas seems to be a hub for models and actresses. Now, Lucy only has a few moments to spare because she has to get back to her photo shoot in the middle of the park, and then she has to go home and pack because she has a trip to Houston. Am I the only person who finds it curious that young Miss Dallas is always on her way to Houston? What the hell is Miss Houston doing? That's neither here nor there. Mitch tells her plastic surgery is the way to go. I'm going to save lives and egos and maybe a little money so I can buy you things. He doesn't say that part, but it is implied. Lucy is pumped. Oh my gosh, you're not running away. You're going to stay. Oh, she doesn't really care that he's going to be a surgeon. She just cares that he's there. She goes back home, to home being the ranch, that is, to pack up, get on the first thing smoking to go to Houston. But she stops by to talk to Ellie first. Oh, grandmother, guess what? Mitch is going to be a plastic surgeon. Ellie says that's great. Lucy then explains, yeah, he bumped into one of my friend's dad who happens to be a surgeon and he talked him into it. Ellie's hearing all the things that aren't being said, and she goes, do you think that maybe Mitch might resent you if he becomes a surgeon? Lucy's like, I mean, maybe, but he kind of does what he wants. Listen, Ellie's not wrong, but also Lucy's not wrong. She didn't ask him to do anything. Mitch swears up and down that he'd rather slum it and live in a cockroach cruise infested house than the lap of luxury, but notice Lucy moved out, not Mitch. Mitch is still living in that fly penthouse. It's not a penthouse. Very fly apartment. Lucy's like, I mean, I guess, Mom, I guess Ellie, or whatever, grandmother, that's possible. So Ellie just gives her a little motherly advice on the way out. She's like, okay, I just want to let you know, if he changes his mind to appease you, it's a ticking time bomb. He is going to flip this on you at some point and start to resent you. So have fun in Houston being Miss Dallas, I guess. I find this prophecy to almost be written in stone. She's not wrong. This will be a conflict along the way. But let the record reflect, I'm Team Lucy in this. She didn't ask you for nothing. She was busy being tan and fabulous and having her hair blow in the wind and poorly delivering these lines. I will make it my point to watch something that Charlene Tilton is in circa early 90s. I gotta see this acting improve. She was struggling with these 17 lines. And other characters who seem to be struggling to walk and talk this episode, the Krebs have entered the real estate chat. Ray and Donna have come to an agreement. She will silently fund, partner with Ray, on the Krebs Parks Villas in beautiful San Antonio, Texas. So one morning at Brecky, JR is cackling because he's reading the paper and he is delighted at the steady rising oil prices. For some reason, this annoys Ray, probably just because JR is kind of a douche to him. But he's like, why are you laughing about the price of oil rising? Which is kind of a dumb question considering what Ewing oil is. Ewing oil, not Ewing dirt, not Ewing mud, not Ewing beauty, Ewing oil. JR responds, see, you don't understand, because if you were a full and genuine Ewing with oil in your veins, you would understand my utter delight and overall jovial demeanor, because this is good news, Yuckum. You have horse dookie in your veins, so you really wouldn't understand the ongoing goings-ons of the oil world. Ray tells him, you know what? Back, JR. I'm a real wheeler and dealer now. I'm selling and buying up property and developing stuff. JR is shocked. What do you mean? Punk Anderson and my daddy are in South America. What you mean you buying stuff? I'm buying it on my own. Some stuff in San Antonio. JR continues to be jovial and delighted and humored by this new information. He says, Ray, you ain't got that kind of money. You ain't got no money. Donna, your dead ex-husband would be rolling in his grave if he knew you were passing the money off to this two-bit turd-kicking ranch hand, Vaseline donned, before he can rattle off rather impressive list of insults he keeps in his breast pocket for Ray. He is promptly shoved into the pool by Donna Moneybags Culver, the new Mrs. Ray Krebs Ewing. He doesn't really seem to mind. He just kind of cackles. She don't have time to fuss with him because she and Ray need to get to San Antonio. I don't know if they fly in the helicopter or if they go to the airport. I really don't know. But they make it to San Antonio without incident and decide they're going to chatter, chit with the seller. Big open piece of land. They're asking all the right questions, you would think, for people who are developing a housing community. How close are we to local schools? What does public transportation look like here? Where is the nearest shopping center, grocery store, or mall? All wonderful questions. The seller is happy to appease him. One's this way, this is that way, Well, right about this time, a fine young gentleman pulls up who happens to be an engineer. He's working for Ray. He says, hey, everybody, how y'all doing? Immediately, he gets down to business. He starts asking the hard questions. Mr. Seller, who is oh so eager to sell this land, how long have you owned it? The seller replies, 2 years or so. Great. Mr. Engineer now wants to know if he's ever had any soil issues. Soil? No, not at all. Not even a little bit. No. You see that tree over there? Something feels awry. The engineer looks over to Ray and says, well, Ray, you did do a soil and drain sample test, right? At first, I didn't really understand why he was asking this because there's nothing on the property, but I bet that is to determine whether or not this is a flood zone. That's what I was saying. At first, I thought, is he looking for damage? But no, it's probably to see. I didn't catch the drain part the first time. To see if this is a swamp during the right time of year. Plus, there is a river in San Antonio, so you got to think about that. Ray is like, well, no, I didn't. Engineer's like, don't even worry about it. I'll take care of it and I'll just let you know once you guys get back to Dallas. I don't feel bad for her, but this is clearly leading to something. That's one of the 1,050,000 details that you probably wouldn't know entering this business. Not right off the bat. Yes, he's been at Jock and Punk Anderson's side for a little bit, but that's different. These men are well into their 70s. They've been doing this for years and years. But also, the biggest sort of weird part of this scene to me is I thought Ray was some sort of dirt whisperer. I swear last season Jock had him sniffing dirt like a basset hound and stuff, picking out grass buffets for cows and whatnot. He knew where all the animals needed to be. He was a crack shot. So in tune with the land. Remember, matter of fact, that was one of the key factors that kept Ellie from knocking his head smooth off his shoulders after Gary said he was never coming home no more. Ray loves dirt, so he's a winner. He loves the land, so he's like me. That's the only reason she came around for other reasons, but it's one of the reasons she doesn't hate him anymore is because he's so loyal to the land. I guess feeding cattle is different than like building crap. So I can't fault the guy, but dang, I hope this isn't the demise. This is going to ruin their marriage. Speaking of having a rough go at it, Cliff and Mama Wentworth go and visit Pam at the Looney Bin. Catherine has already left to New York. She decided she's going to be Barbara Walters there. It's probably going to be a little bit more difficult to do that in Dallas. This is the first time Cliff has seen Pam in a long time. He says, sister, you look good. She says, brother, you look good. I'm so happy to see you. I'm so happy to see you too, Pam. The doctor keeps asking Pam about her childhood, but let her tell it to her mom and her brother. She doesn't really remember a lot. Now, she's talking about from the time she was born to 10 months. Yeah, obviously she didn't remember that. So she asked her mom, Mama, when did I start walking? Rebecca J.G. Wentworth immediately says, you were 10 months old. Just out of nowhere, you just stood up one day, started walking to your daddy. This is delightful to Pam. Really? I was a quick walker? Yeah. You just jumped up and did it. She goes, well, when did I start talking? Not babbling, but like talking so you can understand my words. Rebecca's face gets a little bit long because as soon as Pam was able to start walking, you're on your own, kid. You're mobile now. What do you need me for? Oh, Pam gets that because the unspoken answer is the answer. It's depressing. You left, so you don't know when I said my first word. You probably haven't heard my voice until I showed up on your porch. You act like you know how I was. Cliff jumps in. He's like, stop bringing up ancient history. You are a blabbermouth. You never shut the heck up. Drove Aunt Maggie crazy with your nonstop yammering. Stop bringing up ancient history. Yeah, I think that is sound advice, Cliff. Nobody should be curious about their origin or their childhood at all. It's so weird that she wants to know how she came to be. It's not like these are milestones or anything, walking, talking, What a selfish woman. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, Bobby is going through it. He's a senator, he's a husband, he's a baby daddy, dog the bounty hunter, I suppose. Plus, work is starting to their foot on Bobby's neck. Bobby's in his office minding his business when an old, ancient gargoyle of a man comes in pissed. He says, Bobby, I know your wife, cheese is slid smooth off of the top of her Ritz cracker, but I'm going to need you to get back in the Senator Chambers, dude. I needed your vote last week and you were gone chasing your Looney Tune wife. What the heck? When are you coming back around? I need your vote. Bobby's like, listen, the next time you crawl from your crypt into my office and talk crazy about my wife, it's going to be a major problem. Don't worry about where I am. I'm where I'm at. And the old man's like, okay, that's cool. That's cute. You're going to need me before I need you. He decrepitly, thriller, mummified move. I don't know what he did. It's a very Gumby need walk out of the room. Before Bobby can even, the guy leaves. Before Bobby can even catch his breath, here comes Jordan Lee. Jordan Lee came with a receipt because what he's not going to do is cut another check for nobody. He's like, Bobby, I just got back from the doctors. Now, I knew you wouldn't believe me, so I wanted to bring you this in person. He has papers that says you are not the pappy. What do you mean, Jack? He's clearly Kristen's father. I mean, Kristen's baby daddy, not JR. No, Sophie, let me break it down for you. The baby has an AB blood type. Kristen has an A blood type. Jordan Lee is an O type blood. He can't be the father. This scene was good, but Jordan Lee is not an emoter. So you have to, he's kind of got that hound dog look. He doesn't hardly blink. He just kind of stares, and that really thick Tom Selleck mustache does not sell you on his joy. You would think this man would be jumping on Bobby's desk. I'm not the daddy. I'm not the daddy. Kind of wish it was like Maury. I used to love watching shows where these women, God bless them, I think 90% of them just wanted a trip to New York. So they'd be like, oh, I don't know who my baby daddy is. Girl, ain't no way you slept with 75 people within a 2-day span. That's not what happened. But every time the dude was not the father, he'd jump up, he'd run around, and then the women would break out running, run 200 yards behind stage. Not Jordan Lee. He's just like, hey, here's a receipt. Not the kid's dad. Good luck to you. Oh. Bobby wrings his hands and goes back to the drawing board. So he gets in touch with Brad Pitt, H. Macy, dude, the one who's taking care of Kristen's baby. And he's like, dude, Jordan Lee's not the dad. And the guy's like, really? No, that can't be right. He's like, no, like, look, dude, here's a receipt. You got A, B, A, and O. Like, this don't even 1 + 1 ain't 2. It was like, damn, that's crazy. Well, I don't know who else. I don't know who else it could be. Bobby's like, now, listen, sir. You know the type of woman Kristen was. You sure there wasn't 100 other men? We could maybe go down a list of some sort. The dude says, no, I mean, she wasn't getting any other money. The only money she would get would be from her trust fund. Bobby said, trust fund? I know she had no trust fund. He's like, yeah, there's a lawyer company that sends her a check every month for $2,000. Kristen had the best scam on earth. This is fantastic. Bobby's like, well, let me see. The dude's like, well, as you can see, my funds have slowly dried up. I'm going to need some funds from you, sir, in order to produce the receipts that you seek. Bobby's like, how about I produce a police report that puts you in jail? He's like, no, calm down. I'm Brad Pitt, William H. Macy. You can't do that to me because who's gonna take care of this baby? No alarm bells are sounding off in anybody's mind at this point. Who's gonna take care of this baby? Bobby's like, you know what? That's not my problem. I'm hot. I'm tired. I got a lot on my plate. I'm just ready for this to be done. Dude's like, well, you can't send me to jail. Kristen left me in charge of this kid. Like, that's just the facts. I haven't hurt him. I didn't kidnap him. It is what it is. Why don't I, though, since you want to throw around threats, why don't I go drop this baby off with her sister? I bet her sister would really want to see this kid. Bobby's like, okay, chill. How much is it going to cost me to get these receipts? He's like, $2,000. Bobby says, fine. I'll get you the $2,000. Before he can even go home and catch his breath, as if juggling the mental health of his wife, the mystery of this fresh baby, and the duties of a senator aren't enough, Dr. Conrad calls Bobby, tells him to get down to the hospital ASAP. They need to have a little chat. She starts off their very casual conversation with like, I don't want to freak you out, but your wife is 2 Real Housewives reunion from a full-blown psychotic episode. She's about to snap. So I need you to recap Pam's tragic storyline for the audience and me so that we can introduce a new twist. Bobby's like, I can do that. So Bobby tells Dr. Conrad that Pam's mom, you know, the lady that's been visiting Pam, was a runaway mom, and that they only reconnected last year. Her dad was this drunk dude who confessed on his deathbed that he actually shot and killed her real daddy that her mom was having an affair with. Buried him on property Pam and I live on now. The doc's like, damn. No wonder she don't want to remember this. No wonder she don't want to talk about it. Okay, so Bobby, this is what I'm thinking. I'm sure that the cause of her current depression is this unhappy childhood she had. She wants to lavish all the love and support that she didn't have as a kid on her own child. Bobby's like, but that's the thing. She can't really have a child or she's too afraid to try to have a child of her own. The doctor's like, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I appreciate you coming down here. I get the feeling this problem is going to be solved very, very soon. The doc thanks Bobby for all this piping hot tea, which I'm sure she's going to tell to all her other psychiatrist friends later on. Sure, they sit around, don't you think? I know it's a whole creed they're supposed to take there. It's confidential, whatever, but if a therapist goes to therapy, she can talk about whatever she wants. I'm sure they talk about, girl, you would not believe what I heard today. Anyway, she goes, oh, Mr. Ewing, I didn't tell you this before because I needed the tea, but your wife is probably going to lose her mind and flip out on you once she figures out that you told me about her past. See, it isn't that she don't remember, she just didn't want to tell me, I think. So I just need you to understand that when she finds out that you betrayed her trust, she's going to bite your head off. Bye. Bobby's head is about to blow off. He can't hardly take this. He's like, oh my God. I just want to have a sandwich and veg out in my office today. Damn, this is too much. This is too much for anybody. So Bobby does what he has to do. It's time to bring in the big guns, aka his mama. Luckily, Ellie is a house therapist this week. So he tells her all about the conversation with the doctor and that the cause of Pam's depression is also the cure, a baby. Ellie has recently watched a Ewan woman have a nervous breakdown over a baby, so she asks the most responsible and obvious question. Bobby, do you think Pam is, do you think she's healthy enough for a baby? Do you think she's well enough to take care of one? Bobby's like, I mean, not really, but Mom, if she holds a baby, she won't be depressed. Problem solved. And quiet as kept, Mama. We've tried to adopt a baby. We've tried to do it stateside. Apparently there's a shortage of kids all over the world. I even tried to do an illegal adoption, and it just didn't pan out. Ellie is horrified that her son is into baby napping. She's like, oh my God, didn't we already have this storyline on season 1 or 2? He's like, yeah, but I, we had to bring it back. I don't know what to tell you, Mom. We have to bring it back. She's like, okay, fine, Bobby. It is of my personal and professional mothering opinion that we just let Dr. Conrad do some more doctoring before we bring a fresh, stolen, or otherwise illy gained child into this house to be cared for by an ill woman. Don't you think? He's like, you're right, Mom, you're right. I'm sorry. I just had a really, really, really long day. Desperate times call for desperate measures. I can't say I blame good old Bobby Bob for doing all he's doing, but it's kind of funny to me that it's not clicking to him yet. Maybe not yet because he doesn't know who the baby daddy is. He's just trying to get this kid where it needs to go. But it sounds like you got a fresh baby and a somewhat unsavory, possibly criminally connected dude dangling this kid in your face. It's only a matter of time, my brother. Speaking of his brother, J.R. has finally finalized all the things he needs. He's finalized the financing for all this oil he's holding up. He's got delivery trucks. He's got storage. He's crossed his T's and dotted his I's. Everything is ready. He is delighted to ruin the life and the livelihood of Clayton Farlow and his son Dusty from the dead. Clayton is putting 2 and 2 together pretty quickly, but he's not 100% sure. Clayton knows that his crew has been bought up and diverted. He's got time today. He's going to figure out who's messing around with his money and, quote, there will be hell to pay. So he starts calling around, reaching out to different people. He can't figure out why his deliveries aren't coming, etc. So he calls this one place, and the kid on the phone says, no, Mr. Barlow, we sent that out to you already. He's like, clearly you didn't, because why would I be calling you? You think I like just picking up the phone, do I look like a secretary? He's like, no, you don't, but I'm like 100% sure. Let me look at the paperwork. He's like, yep, went out to you on the 15th. Clayton says, like I said, clearly it didn't. So the kid looks a little bit deeper and he's like, oh, this is weird. Your name is crossed out and the only notes on here are shipped per Williams's verbal orders. Williams is the dude who gave JR the oil. Mind you, he also skipped town. He didn't just skip town, he skipped the country. He does not want smoke. Clayton Barlow. Clayton's like, okay, bet. Tell you what, when William gets back in town, let him know what's up. Let him know I'm looking for him, and also he can forget doing business with me ever again. So Dusty's there, and he's like, Dad, can we get another shipment in time? And they're discussing it. It's like it's running out so quickly that they're having to start to fire people. The dad's like, no, we can't get any new oil today, but hopefully by like next month. Clayton, ever the concerned father, says, hey, where's Sue Ellen, though? I missed her at breakfast this morning. Dusty says she took a car into town. But no, she didn't take the car into San Angelo. She took the car to Dallas. She wanted to go cuss out JR. As soon as she walks in his office, he's smug. He starts making little taunts at her about her new life of celibacy. Only it occurred to me this episode that she may have had bouts of celibacy because he wasn't banging her. Remember when they conceived the baby, he hadn't touched her in months or maybe years or something at that point. Yes, she kept a baddie on the side from time to time. The girl's got to do what a girl's got to do, but not getting any is not a problem. She does it all the time. She's doing it at this very moment. She didn't come there to be cute. She's like, JR, I know it's you. I know you're the one messing with Clayton's shipments. Why don't you stop being a child, be a man, and face your life like a real man? He's like, that's cute. I'm rich. My daddy's richer, and if your man wants to continue to be rich, he's gonna give up my son. That's what I know. They have a little argument. We learn that their divorce hearings are like next month, and she's like, "You already lost once. You think you're not gonna lose again?" He's like, "I don't lose anything. I don't want to lose." Heifer. He's like, "Okay, that's cute." Bye, Jr. Meanwhile, back at the Southern Cross, we find out that the refinery is struggling. They had to lay off 100 people last week. They don't get some crude soon, like soon, they're going to have to lay off 600 more. Plus, all the buyers they have for what the would-be refined oil or gas or whatever it's going to be, they're going to have to go other places. They're going to lose money, customers, and employees. Clayton still isn't super worried. He just tells whoever the guy is running the refinery, he's like, just do what you got to do to keep the doors open. They have some money stored away in other places because he has been in this a long time. He is a responsible man. Sue Ellen comes back to the ranch and she sings like a canary. Clayton, Dusty, JR has moved your oil around. He has done all kinds of wicked and evil things. And unfortunately, I think I need to leave because he's doing this because he wants the baby. He's mad at me for taking the baby and he can't stand losing. So I can't stand to see y'all suffer because I'm here. If I leave, he has nothing to dangle over your head. I'm sure everything will go back. Still trying to placate him, still suffering from his mistakes. It's kind of sad. Dusty loses it. Baby, no, please don't leave. Please don't leave. We're not going to do that. Please. We're not going to let him win. We don't care what he does. He's saying all this we stuff. Clayton ain't saying nothing, but he's also not disagreeing. He's just sort of looking off into the sunset, thinking of all the ways he's going to stomp out JR. Definitely contemplating 101 ways to destroy this man. Unfortunately, though, he's having less and less luck replacing that crew that JR jacked. Clayton Farlow is that dude. He shows up to the meeting ready to play ball. Does he have any leverage? Not really. He can't very well buy up all the oil that JR has swipe or no swiping from him. He doesn't seem to have sent his do dirt dudes to break JR's knees, but he does have a few things that JR doesn't. Patience and foresight. Clayton Farlow is a long gamer. So, JR lays it out in front of him and says, Clayton, it's as simple as this. I want my boy back. Send John Ross back to my ranch, and I will sell you your crude at a fair market price. He's not even trying to be generous at this point. He's not trying to give it back to him. As far as he's concerned, you have inconvenienced me. I'm going to inconvenience you. I will sell you your oil back. I ain't giving you nothing, but you will give me my son back. I gotta admit, on any other day, I might be like, okay, that seems pretty fair if this man had stolen your son, but he didn't. Clayton listens to him patiently. He already let him know when he walked in the room that he wasn't really feeling JR. I already think you a scoundrel and a snake. But he has piqued his interest a little bit. Clayton says, well, what about Sue Ellen? JR said, what about Sue Ellen? I want my boy. I don't really care what happens to that woman. Clayton's like, okay, cool. I'll give you your son. You're going to tell me you don't really care about Sue Ellen. No deal. JR's like, what? You don't care about her? Clayton's like, what you don't realize is that I respect the hell out of that woman. Plus, that's her baby. So I think that Sue Ellen's baby should be with Sue Ellen. The baby needs to be with their mother. No deal. This man is losing money by the day. He is having to shut down his refinery piece by piece. He is potentially letting go of 600 people. He is losing clientele left and right. But I'm not giving you your son or your ex-wife back. Sorry. Now you might be like, well, why would he even fight this? At this point, what do you have to gain? That's how you know this man is a bad mofo. He's clearly seeing something that JR isn't, and this is where he drops the bomb. JR, I was purposely late today because I decided to stop before I came here to educate myself. Price of oil is already down $1 and dropping, JR. You got 500 million barrels And at this rate, by the time your daddy gets back from South America, there won't even be a Ewing oil. He just sunned this guy. JR is ahead of his company. But I will say there is a difference between someone who's a wheeler and a dealer and somebody who has been in the business a really long time. Clayton isn't ancient by any means, but he is a full grown man who has been in the oil game long enough to have seen many, many ups and many, many downs. He has weathered things harder than this, so he ain't really scared like that. Plus, he did the math. If you buy up all of the supply and suddenly there's no demand, you're screwed. I might be getting screwed. I just need to be doing better than you to take advantage of this. And at the moment, because Clayton hasn't taken out any loans, he had a little bit of a reserve to pay his employees so that he didn't have to fire them just yet. If he can wait out JR is going to have to offload offload. He's going to have to offload that oil at some juncture. This is getting good. I gotta admit, though, I'm not all that surprised that Clayton did not give up Sue Ellen. He doesn't strike me as slimy, per se. He could very well be like, I'll talk to my son and do this. But the way he's chummy with not only Sue Ellen, but he's cool with Miss Ellie. He's cool with the baby. He loves his boy more than he loves anything. It doesn't surprise me that this man is that loyal, that he's standing 10 toes down. Plus, I'm ready to see him turn up a little bit. This is getting good. It wasn't necessarily a slow episode. It didn't really reveal any information that we didn't already know, but it was enjoyable nonetheless. JR is getting more and more entertaining as the episodes go by. It still feels like a little bit of a lull. I think the show is finding its footing. It's not that they were centered around Jock per se, but Jock is a major character, especially as far as reining JR in. Jock plays a really big part, and they're still trying to fill out themselves. And honest to God, Sue Ellen is a strong character. Pam is a strong enough character. I think Cliff and Rebecca are a good storyline. Introducing Catherine is right on time. We need some fresh blood in this. Lucy is probably busy with other projects, I'm assuming. She's only showing up to be pretty. Mitch is a little bit boring. Afton is interesting. The Clayton, or what's his name? Dusty, Clayton, and them are interesting. Sorry to just name this as a list, but I'm trying to paint a picture here. I feel like Donna and Ray are a little bit dull, but we got to fill the roster, and I think they're trying their best right now. So Dallas always has good writing. I am anticipating bombshell after bombshell after bombshell. All right, guys, that's it. That's all for this episode. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Join me next time as we jump back into either the West Coast whirlwind or we're going to run up to Denver and see what everybody's talking about. In the meantime, in between time, stay hydrated, stay moisturized, mind your own business, and keep all of your drama on TV.